I'll tell you one thing before we get this video underway. I don't want to see anybody in the comment section trying to undermine how hype this game was. We're talking about Buffalo versus Vegas from yesterday, March 10th, 2022. Was this the most important game-shattering Game 7 game that we could have played? No. Was this a championship or playoff series or regular season wildcard clinching game for either of these teams? No, not necessarily, but was this game exciting? Was this game filled with storylines that gave us so much conversation fodder to go over? Yeah. Holy crap, this was a fun game to go out there and watch, and ultimately the result is one that a lot of Buffalo Sabres fans can go and take to their grave as one of the most vindicating moments that they have had as a franchise in a while. The Vegas Golden Knights played off against the Buffalo Sabres yesterday, as we noted, and there was a lot of context heading into this game. Firstly, this is Jack Eichel's big awaited return to Buffalo. You have yourselves the entire trade saga, the surgery, the fact that he hasn't played for Buffalo in like a year, and he wasn't traded until months after that last game. There was already some frustration brewing up between him. He was already talking about how he wants to win. There was the entire thing about the Sabres not allowing him to get the surgery that he wanted, which eventually led to an entire trade thing that lasted for months. Now he's on Vegas, and now he is healthy. But the Vegas Golden Knights, oddly enough, started doing a lot worse after Eichel was added to the lineup. I don't want to make it seem like it's causation here, it just happens to be that way. The Vegas Golden Knights are 4-5-1 in their last 10. They were the top team in the Pacific, and they had a significant lead over everybody else. But now, they're third. And they're actually 9 points behind the Calgary Flames, who have 2 games in hand. They are 2 points ahead of the Oilers and 4 points ahead of the Canucks. They have 1 more game played than the Canucks, and so I don't know about you, but as a Canucks fan, I'm kind of biting my nails looking at the standings now, because it's not only just Edmonton that the Canucks are realistically in the midst of maybe being able to overtake. You have Vegas, who have come really back down to earth too. Now, I don't want to make it seem like this entire slump that they're on is going to be a permanent thing and that they're never going to rebound ever, but yesterday's game definitely was not a sign that they're coming out of that slump just yet. The final score of this game was 3-1 Buffalo, and I get it, 3-1 games, that's a boring score. You see 3-1 games all the time, or maybe you don't, but 3-1 is kind of the stereotypical, okay, 3-1, 4-2, it's your regular hockey game that happens pretty much every night, right? Well, that's not really the case here. Because this KeyBank Arena in Buffalo was the most vivacious that I've ever heard this arena, or not KeyBank Arena, KeyBank Center, my goodness, I'm confusing it with the Seattle thing, but yes, vivacious, lively. This crowd was so hot, and for good reason too. Not only did they go out there and boo Jack Eichel every time he touched the puck, but they cheered their heads off every time the guy got stripped of the puck as well. You just look at the highlight package. You don't even need to watch the game. Just watch the highlights of what happened, and every time Eichel has the puck on his stick, it's just boo, boo, it's so loud. And then he loses it, and then the crowd cheers, they go crazy, and they boo when he leaves the ice as well. This crowd had themselves an experience that I can only dream of, and Jack Eichel himself was playing into it as well. After the game, we had ourselves the comments that he made to the media that were absolutely hilarious. He is playing the ultimate heel right here. Maybe on purpose, maybe because he feels like he does not actually owe anything to the Buffalo fans anymore. He said, "That's the loudest I've heard this place ever. It only took me 7 years and me leaving for them to get into it." He also said that there was a tribute and that it was really great and he liked to see that, and there were some people that cheered for him and there were some people that booed for him. He also said that the ones that were booing him might just have been booing him because they wish he was still there. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to theatrics, when it comes to building storylines for the game, this is what Eichel is doing. I don't know if it's, a conscious decision of his to do that, or if he's just saying what's on his mind, but hey, I eat this stuff up. I love this kind of conversation here. Aside from that, though, when you go over to the actual game, the Buffalo Sabres, as we noted, they won 3-1. They had themselves a pretty good showcase. Not only did the Vegas Golden Knights have themselves a few opportunities that were stolen away by Craig Anderson. By the way, that guy's got 300 wins in the NHL now because of this victory. Good for him. But the Vegas Golden Knights just kept on allowing Buffalo to do their thing. There were a few giveaways behind the Golden Knights net that led to some pretty good Buffalo chances. Buffalo was able to just waltz around in the offensive zone doing as they pleased. You saw Rasmus Dahlin deking out guys and fighting his way to the front of the net for scoring chances. And the goals they scored were pretty nice too. The first one, hey, guess what? It's Peyton Krebs, one of the pieces in the return for the Eichel trade, who gets himself a cross-crease pass, and this guy, oh boy, the poise on this guy. Instead of just whacking it, one-timing it like the left-handed shot he is coming down the right side, he instead just lightly taps the puck with his backhand and forces it to go the opposite direction, completely fooling Brossoit and giving the Sabres the 1-0 lead. The crowd went nuts for this, and I love how the ESPN Plus broadcast was like immediately, Peyton Krebs, the return for Eichel, and then they showed Eichel on the broadcast and he looked super frustrated. Like, that is theatrics right there. You love to see it. The Golden Knights had themselves a few opportunities that were really good and that were actually stopped by Anderson, but the only puck that actually beats this guy is a really strange-looking play. It's Ben Hutton in the third period. Yeah, Ben Hutton. Canucks fans, you know who Ben Hutton is. This guy, he takes it at the far right point and he just throws it up. Like, he doesn't even shoot it, he flips the puck. It looks like he's trying to flip it into the left corner, but he centers it a little bit too nicely as it goes over everybody's heads and it goes bar down. Like, that's the worst goal I have seen scored by a guy in a while that didn't have anything to do with a goaltender making a mistake or a defenseman in front swatting it into his own goal. Like, that is just a weird shot. You make that play 100 times, it maybe goes in like once, and that was the one. It's 1-1 after this point, and you see yourselves a pretty good amount of pressure sustained on both sides. Things get really funny, though, when at the 5-minute mark left in the third period, you have yourselves Jonathan Marchessault, who is taken down in the corner. There's no call on this one. It might have been boarding, might have been charging, whatever, who really knows, but there's no call, and Marchessault gets up, he's frustrated that there's no call, and he whacks the guy who hit him in the back of the shins. That causes the play to stop up. Eichel has the puck, and the whistle blows. Hey, penalty, Marchessault, 2, you're out. And the Buffalo Sabres, on the ensuing power play, it's Kyle Okposo. He centers it across to Victor Olofsson. He drags it, shoots it, scores it right over the shoulder of Brossoit. 2-1 Buffalo, and that is what they needed. The crowd goes wild. You see Jack Eichel's reaction on the bench once again. For some reason, they keep on playing it. And then in the dying the dying seconds of the game, you had yourselves what was Jack Eichel trying to hold the puck on the blue line, trying to keep it in. And then guess who comes in? It's the other piece of the Eichel trade return. Alex Tuch comes in here and swats the puck right out of Eichel's grasp. It's a foot race into the offensive zone for Tuch. He wins it. He's got a tight angle. He shoots it. He scores. The entire crowd goes wild, not just because Alex Tuch gets the 3-1 goal, but because Alex Tuch, one of the pieces in return for Eichel, steals it from Eichel and gives the Sabres the 3-1 lead. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. The Buffalo Sabres have actually won probably like the most exciting game they've played in a long time. From the moment the puck dropped, you could see the energy. Everybody was going out there with one thing in mind. Jack Eichel, we want to beat you. And that is what they did. It took them Krebs, it took them Tuch, it took a few very nice saves from Craig Anderson, but ultimately they got it done, and ultimately they published what is probably the best feel-good story of this team in the past, like, year and a half, 2 years, maybe 3? Buffalo Sabres fans, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about this game. What did you think about the performance? What do you think about the Golden Knights and how they played? What did you think about Jack Eichel? We had ourselves NHL analysts like Thomas Drance, for example, talking on Twitter about how the Golden Knights just didn't play well, especially for a team that is supposed to be at the top of the Pacific, but either way, Buffalo matched them, Buffalo played them, and Buffalo beat them. So, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.